Live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, there it is. Lakers are officially sent to Cancun. Lakers season is officially over. What do you say? Minnesota was the better team, right? I mean, they were. You tip your hat to Minnesota. Good job getting it done. It's unfortunate the Lakers didn't do their end, right? I mean, I thought the Lakers would at least win this game, right? At least don't just get smacked. But, Minnesota pretty much controlled this game start to finish, right? Like, literally. Minnesota did everything that they were supposed to do to win this game, win this series. Their size, their athleticism it was a problem for the Lakers, right? I mean, Rudy Gobert had a Shaquille O'Neal level night, literally. Literally. I mean, he had about as dominant of a night as you can possibly see. When you let Rudy Gobert have a 27 and 24 game, he had 9 offensive rebounds. 9 offensive rebounds. He had more offensive rebounds than the entire Lakers team combined. He had almost as many rebounds as the Lakers combined. The Lakers had 29 rebounds total, defensive rebounds. 29 defensive rebounds total. Rudy Gobert by himself had 24 rebounds. I mean, this was a disaster. It's unfortunate. It's frustrating. I really wanted the Lakers to get this done. I really had some faith. One of the things that I talked about is that, I wouldn't bet on the Lakers, right? Going into the postseason, what did I say? That I believe that the Lakers can beat anybody, but at the same time, I think that they can lose to anybody. As many arguments as there are for the Lakers to beat a team, I thought that, those same teams, there's arguments for to beat the Lakers. And Minnesota just outplayed us, out-hustled us, out-muscled us, just, again, dominated us on every facet of the game. It was that simple. So again, tip your hat to Minnesota. Lakers have a lot of work to do this offseason. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's better to lose in later rounds than it is the first rounds, right? I understand it's you want to go as far as you possibly can, right? Given the Lakers circumstances, I'm okay with it being done sooner rather than later, personally, just because the sooner that we lost this, the sooner we can get into the offseason, right? Something that I talked about is, would it have even been worth it for the Lakers to come back and get this win? Would it have even been worth the Lakers, even if they did pull this off, would it have been worth coming back and closing it out? Because what's going to happen the next round and the next round and the next round and so on and so forth, So to me, I'm okay. I would have rather this happen. I would have rather take this L. Let's move it in the offseason. I don't think anyone's untradeable. Austin Reaves was god-awful this game. Awful. Look, I've talked about Austin Reaves a lot recently and how poor he's played, and I continue to get a lot of pushback. A lot of people, how can you blame Austin Reaves, right? Well, I don't know how you watch this game and don't, right? We didn't lose just because of Austin Reaves, right? Austin Reaves isn't like the sole reason, but Austin Reaves was terrible this series. Terrible. He had 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers. The Lakers as a whole had 15 turnovers. Austin Reaves had more turnovers, or had the same number of turnovers as, more. Yeah, Luka had 2, LeBron had 3. So Austin Reaves had more turnovers than Luka and LeBron combined. Austin Reaves he's been terrible. He was terrible this series. And, I talked very heavily about, hey, I don't think he's untradeable. I think we should trade him. I got a ton of pushback on it. A lot of Reeves stands coming out of the woodworks talking about how, I don't know this or I don't know that, whatever. Well, one of us was right? Austin Reaves, he isn't it. He isn't it. The only guys on this team that are untradeable, in my opinion, are Luka and LeBron. That is it. Outside of that, everyone else should be on the trading block. Credit Rui Hachimura, right? Rui Hachimura showed up, right? So, credit him. He deserves some credit. He was 9 of 16, 5 of 8 from 3-point range. He had 23 points again, 4 rebounds, right? But again, we need more two-way. We need athletes. We need legit two-way players. Lakers need a lot of things. For being honest, the Los Angeles Lakers have a lot of holes, a lot of issues that need to be addressed. Lakers gotta, LeBron James is expected to take a discount this offseason. I sure hope so, because if he does, that'll give us some flexibility to go make some moves, make some trades. But yeah, I think everybody, again, you need to get a center, you need to get multiple centers. It was nice to get a Maxi Kleber signing. But he's an $11 million expiring contract. I think he's probably gone. But like I said, I'd rather move into the offseason sooner rather than later. Obviously, I want as much Laker basketball as possible. I want, if we could have made the conference finals, would have loved to make the conference finals, made the NBA finals, won a finals, whatever, right? I would have loved that. But unless the Lakers are winning the championship, I'd rather lose sooner rather than later so we can get into the offseason, start making the adjustments, start making the changes, start figuring out what we're going to do. Allow our front office to figure some stuff out. This was just, again, it's ridiculous, right? It's one thing to lose a series, but just to get dominated and bullied. But like I said, guys, Austin Reaves, what did I say? LeBron James and Luka need to be transcending, right? Austin Reaves needed to be great. You didn't get greatness from Austin Reaves, right? I don't care what he did for 3 months in the regular season. That's cute. I'm glad that he, had a good 3-month stretch or whatever. I care about what you do in the playoffs. He was terrible in these playoffs. He was terrible in the Denver playoffs. So it's time to move off. Again, he's not a superstar. He's not a star. He's nothing like that. He's in a contract year. He's going to want to get paid. Trade him now, right? Again, I don't think you just trade anybody just to trade them. I don't think you get rid of guys just to get rid of them. But I do think you got to start making some moves. And the best way to make those moves is via trade. Lakers need a lot of work. You got to revamp this roster. You got to rechange this roster. You got to do a lot, right? But we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, let's get into all these super chat questions, all the regular chat questions. I see a bunch of super chats trickling in. Keep sending those in, and we'll get into those. And then the regular chat, real quick, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, and let's get into it. So, Rascal coming hot with the $2 super chat. JJ played Maxi Kleber, wanted to stay home, 0 heart. Yeah, I thought it was nice to see Kleber out there. At desperate times, call for desperate measures type thing. But in reality, I just, like I said, I made a video about it earlier. I didn't think Maxi Kleber would be the savior. I thought Maxi Kleber, could maybe do some damage, maybe make some noise. Maybe he hits a couple shots, but realistically, probably looking at, limited production from him, and that's what you got. Lakers' lack of size really came to bite them, right? Lakers' lack of centers and stuff really came to bite them, and it hurt. It really did. It hurt, but appreciate you. Andre, coming out $2 super chat. JJ can't coach, man. Same old lineup. I could not disagree more. Again, coaching can only, as a coach, you can only control, micromanage, and do so much, right? What is JJ Redick supposed to do when Austin Reaves, who is supposed to be your third best player, goes 5 of 14, 2 of 10 from 3-point range, has 6 turnovers? Okay, sit him. For who? Who do you sit him for? What are you supposed to do when Luka goes 7 of 18, 2 of 8, ends up having back spasms? What do you do when LeBron James goes 9 of 21, 22 points, 1 of 5 from 3? What, you're supposed to sit LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reaves? What are you supposed to do when Rudy Gobert gets 9 offensive rebounds? What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do when, Dorian Finney-Smith fouls out and goes 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 5 from the floor? What do you do when Gabe Vincent goes 0 of 2 from the floor and 26 minutes of action? What are you supposed to do when any of these, who is he supposed to go to? Who is he supposed to rely on? At the end of the day, the players have to play the game. At the end of the day, the players have to show up. JJ Redick tried throwing out all different lineups. He tried to play Maxi Kleber. He tried to do a bunch of stuff. What is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? Supposed to what? Play Bronny James and Alex Lynn? You're right. Those are the guys that are going to save us. And it's not even you, Andre. It's just I get a lot of comments that are like JJ Redick, can't coach. It's like, again, we've gone through 3 coaches, right? And we've had the same issues. Do you think maybe it's the roster? Do you think at some point we blame the actual players, right? Like, at what point do we hold the players accountable? At what point do we say we don't have a good enough team? Was JJ Redick perfect? Of course not. JJ Redick have flaws? Of course, right? I'm not saying JJ Redick is above criticism or anything like that, but I'm saying, like, everyone, like, people want one person to blame. Blame the team. The Lakers scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. Lakers have been terrible. LeBron James and Luka have been terrible in the fourth quarters all series long. All series long. Your 2 stars, your 2 best players, your 2 go-to guys, terrible all series long in the fourth quarter. That's JJ's fault? What is he supposed to do? You're right. We're supposed to sit LeBron James, Austin Reaves, and Luka the whole fourth quarter and let Bronny James and Alex Lynn and guys like that play. Right? You're right. That's what we're supposed to do. We're JJ Redick is supposed to play Dalton Connect 40 minutes because that's the answer. Our worst defensive player by every metric, and a guy who has been incredibly inconsistent all season, who is a rookie, don't get me wrong. But again, Dalton Connect isn't saving the Lakers. Bronny James isn't saving the Lakers, right? Like, again, you're supposed to rely on your guys. You have your top end talent for a reason, right? When they don't show up, you lose. DeMarcus, coming out with the $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. The fact that the game was literally in our hands once again and we still lose says it all. Yeah, I mean, look, Lakers easily could have won this series 4-1 and they just blew it. Again, your stars don't show up to close games. LeBron James, Luka Doncic were terrible in the fourth quarters, and those are your guys that are supposed to do it. Role guys don't step up. Role guys don't hit shots. Credit Rui tonight, but for the most part, he was absent. Austin Reaves is supposed to be our 3rd best player. He's a no-show the whole series outside of 3 quarters, right? There was genuine conversation about like a whole like media press tour and all kinds of stuff about Austin Reaves being the 3rd best option in the league. And he was one of the worst players in the entire series on both teams. Again, it's like, this team just, they didn't have it. Credit, again, tip your hat, credit them, and, you say good luck, better luck next year type thing. It's so incredibly frustrating, but you're right. It says it all. Lakers had it in their hands, botched it. Says everything you need to hear. Cypher coming out $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I love Rui and Austin, but like I've said, like I've been saying before the trade deadline, they need to be traded for us to have a chance. We need depth badly, and it's been proven over and over again. Yeah, you need a lot of things, right? Lakers need legit 2-way guys. You need athleticism, right? Minnesota's athleticism killed us. Their size, their athleticism, and their physicality killed us. You look at our starting 5. Talked about it last season going into the playoffs. Talked about it this season going into the playoffs, right? You have Rui Hachimura, Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic in your starting 5. You have 3 non-athletes. I know they're athletes in the sense of compared to us, right? But by NBA standards, they're not athletic, right? So you have 3 non-athletes out there on the basketball court that can't defend, that don't move well, that, are just liabilities, right? As great as Luka is, liability on defense, right? So how do you solve that? You get the guys around him that have that athleticism. Okay, well, Austin Reaves isn't that. Rui Hachimura isn't that, right? You go down the list. I mean, even guys like Gabe Vincent isn't like a hyper athlete or anything like that. Like the only hyper athletes we really have is like Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Connect is one of them, right? But again, defense, a liability. It's just go down the list. Lakers need defense. They need shooting. They need athleticism. They need size, interior size. I mean, you just go down the list. The list goes on what the Lakers need. The Lakers have a lot of needs that need to be addressed this offseason. When we traded for Luka, it was, hey, we have a chance this year, but really this is for the future, right? The Luka trade was not for just right now. Obviously, it was like, hey, this gives us a chance, Luka and LeBron in the playoffs, right? If you get Mark Williams, this is probably a very different series, so this is one of those things where it's like, should you have just done the Mark Williams trade? But, at the end of the day, that's what this trade was. This trade was not for necessarily this season. It was for this offseason and the next 10 years. So now it's time for the Lakers to get into the offseason and gear up and make some moves, make some trades. So appreciate you, Cypher. Art coming out, $2 super chat. JJ pathetic, can't coach. AR overrated. LeBron James old as F. I already went on my JJ Redick rant. Again, this isn't on JJ Redick. Players have to show up. I don't care how good of a coach you are. You could be Phil Jackson and Pat Riley doing the fusion dance and become one coach. Become, Pat Jackson. And it doesn't mean anything if the players don't show up. Right? Like, again, how much is JJ Redick supposed to do? Again, a coach can only do so much. A coach only gets so many timeouts, only has so many players he can go to. Has only so many actions and game plans and stuff like that based on the other things. Again, we every year it's the coach's fault. Every year it's, D'Lo's fault or it's this person. At what point do you just go, you know what? It's the players. At what point do you just say it's the players? JJ Redick led the Lakers to a 50-win season for the first time in 5 years with 5 different iterations of this roster. JJ Redick proved he's a good coach time and time again. But at the end of the day, the players didn't show up when it mattered. Again, JJ Redick can't account for Austin Reaves being unplayable in the series. He can't account for, us not having a center, right? He can't account, he can only control and micromanage so much. A coach only has so much ability. Cypher coming out the $5 super chat. Calm down, people. JJ is a good coach, especially with not that many tools at his disposal. Not his fault. Our bench sucks. Agreed. Again, who is he supposed to go to? Who is he supposed to go to? Right? Again, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to play Bronny James, Dalton Connect, and Alex Len 40 minutes? Like I said, he can't account for the end of the game, LeBron James taking a 40-foot three and then turning the ball over the next possession. That JJ Redick's fault? JJ Redick can't account for Austin Reaves turning the ball over 6 times and being unplayable. Is that JJ Redick's fault? Again, at what point do you say it's the players? At what point do you go, the players didn't show up? Minnesota was a bad matchup. I talked about it. I got a ton of pushback because I said I didn't want to play Minnesota in the first round. I thought the Lakers could beat Minnesota, but I thought it was a bad matchup. I talked about it very heavily. For those that were around, what did I keep saying? I want to play Warriors. I want to play Golden State. Golden State doesn't have the interior size to punish us. We're going to need to work some stuff out. Guys are going to have some hiccups, so on and so forth. I really wanted to play the Warriors because I think that would have been a more favorable matchup for the Lakers. You know what they want to do. The Lakers are better equipped to handle that and kind of get you through. At some point, if we have to play Minnesota, then you play Minnesota at some point. But at that point, Lakers have probably figured stuff out. Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reaves have probably figured stuff out, right? Playing Minnesota in the first round was not what I wanted, And a lot of people gave me pushback for that. No, you have to play Minnesota. You have to play Minnesota. Well, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Andre, he played Max for 3 minutes, man. Who? Maxi Kleber, he played him for 5 minutes, but again, Maxi Kleber just can't. The guy missed 3 months. If you're holding JJ Redick, if you're considering JJ Redick a bad coach because he played Maxi Kleber 5 minutes, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. The guy didn't play for literally 3 months. It might have been longer than that, and just got back. And what, JJ's bad because he only played him 5 minutes? And it's not like he was great out there. He was getting bodied and pushed and all that stuff. He didn't do anything in that 5 minutes, right? Like he went, what did he go? He went 0 for 1, didn't grab a rebound, an assist. He literally didn't do anything. Anything. Grabbed 2 points, right? But again, Max Kleber, you're right. Max Kleber was the guy that's supposed to save the day. Dark coming out the $5 super chat. If they retool the roster, should the Lakers fire JJ for Malone? Yes, I know he's a rookie coach, but Malone has playoff experience. No, I don't think so. I think you stick with JJ Redick. Look, Mike Malone is a great coach. Don't get me wrong. I like Mike Malone a lot. I think JJ Redick is a good coach still. I think, again, you're only as good as the personnel and talent that you have. I mean, Denver fired Mike Malone and might win the NBA Finals again because of it, right? Mike Malone is an old school coach that needs a specific roster and can kind of be a little bit bullheaded, right? JJ Redick, I like JJ Redick for the modern NBA, for, if we get a proper roster, right? I like JJ Redick. Like, what can JJ Redick do with a proper roster? Again, I talked about this before the playoffs even began, right? What did I say? Right? Can the Lakers win a championship? Sure. Right? But I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't bet on it. I'm not comfortable saying that they will. Right? Like, could they beat anybody? Sure. But like I said, the same way that you can make arguments, you can make as many, if not more, for all these other teams to beat the Lakers, because the Lakers just have so many holes. And the only way that I thought that the Lakers could pull it off was if LeBron and Luka were insanely good and Austin Reaves was great. But Mike Malone, look, if we needed a coach, right? Like if JJ Redick, like I don't think JJ Redick is a bad coach by any means. I don't. Right? Like again, who is JJ Redick supposed to go to? And I know you're not saying that, but I know you're just saying like, hey, he has experience, right? But at the end of the day, again, like you're only as good as your roster. Right? Like if I go and you give Phil Jackson, a YMCA team, he's not winning a game in the NBA, right? Like you're only as good as your roster. So personally, no, I think you stick with JJ. Sonny coming out $2 super chat. What sort of players could they get trading AR? Problem is, what is his value now after such a poor playoff series? That's the question. Teams take notice to that, right? Like, he had a bad playoff series. Do they look at it as just like, oh, this was just a bad moment? Plus, not just that, but he's in a contract year. I don't think you're getting a star or a superstar or anything like that. But like, to me, I think you need to can you get like a legit two-way guy, right? Like in a perfect world, I'm just using him as an example. I don't think Atlanta would trade him, but could you get a Dyson Daniels, right? Even like a Jalen Suggs would make some sense, right? You either need to trade him in a package for a top tier upgrade, or you need to get a legit two-way guy, a guy that makes sense slotted alongside Luka, right? Those are the only two ways that, like, again, as bad as Austin Reaves was, I still don't want to trade him for nothing. Like, I don't think you just trade him for a bag of chips, right? But because he is still reliable in the regular season, he is still a guy that plays, 80 games a year, right? Like, which you need because you have Luka and LeBron, and Luka's going to miss 20 games and LeBron's going to miss 20 games. And, so again, like there is still value in Austin Reaves to an extent, but as your third best player, like if Austin Reaves is willing to take a bench role and take $15 million a year, then fine, keep him. If he's willing to be the sixth man, take a bench role, keep him. But outside of that, you got to get a legit like two-way guy, or you got to get, package him for a definitive upgrade. But Jason coming out $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I have the Lakers in 9. We'll keep waiting. I believe the Lakers would have gone farther with a D. Was the right move for the future, but bad for this season. Go Celtics and Stu lives. Love the channel. It depends on, so something that I talked about, right, is I thought that this version of the Lakers gave us the best chance, depending on matchups, gave us the best chance to go as far as possible, right? The problem with Anthony Davis is, one, would he have been healthy? Two, would he have been consistent? right? Because even in the conference finals run, what was the big problem? He was very inconsistent. He had a lot of inconsistencies, right? He was kind of game to game. And that's kind of always been a thing with Anthony Davis. Now, obviously, for a Minnesota matchup, Anthony Davis makes more sense, of course, right? But would he have been healthy? One. Two, would he have consistently dominated on a nightly basis? Besides those questions, something else that I talked about was, we don't know what, again, the Luka trade was for the future, right? Because the big question is when LeBron retires, now what? Anthony Davis is going to be like 34, 35, 36 by the time LeBron retires. And, once that happens, right? Like, it's like, what do you do for your future, right? So the Luka trade was for the future, right? The Luka trade was for, the next 10 years, right? So the other thing is, if we didn't do the Luka trade, what would the trades have been done alongside Anthony Davis and LeBron, right? Like, there is a version of this, right? There is an alternative future where the Lakers might have been the best team in the league because the Lakers trade for a center and another 3-and-D guy, right? Maybe instead of trading for Luka, they go and they trade for, whatever, Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson, and they just sell the farm, right? And now you have, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Nick Claxton, Cam Johnson, Austin Reaves, right? Like, again, like, we don't know what this version of the Lakers would have looked like had they have kept Anthony Davis and not traded for Luka. So there is a chance where the Lakers might have been better and might have actually won a championship, but it's one of those things we'll never know. And then as far as the Celtics, don't worry, Celtics are losing in the next round. And 2, Stu is not coming back, but appreciate you, buddy. Malcolm coming out the $5 super chat. Austin Reaves cost himself a lot of money in the series. Agreed. He needs to add muscle in the offseason. Yeah. Austin Reaves probably was getting 30 to 40 million and now is probably looking at 20 to 25 million. He cost himself probably half of what he would have made because he can't be relied on. This is now the second playoffs in which he has gotten exposed for the lack of strength, right? This is an issue with him. He doesn't get the fouls. He doesn't get the things that you need to get to kind of play his game. And you see him kind of just fade into oblivion. And you saw that happen this game. Again, Lakers, if I'm the Lakers, I'm looking to trade Austin Reaves, seeing what can you get for Austin Reaves. I still, as frustrated as I am with Austin Reaves right now, you got to let cooler heads prevail. I still don't think you trade Austin Reaves for a bag of chips. Like, I'm not trading Austin Reaves for like a Colin Sexton or something like that. But if you can turn Austin Reaves into, a different piece, then I think you do it. Sickening work keeping that fraud AR. We knew. Look, Andrew. Look, you and me got a ton of pushback. I mean, I got labeled Reaves hater. I got labeled, all kinds of names that I can't say on live streams because I wanted to trade Austin Reaves. We even talked about trading Austin Reaves for Zach LaVine before the Luka trade. People told me we were crazy. I don't think Zach LaVine would have had the performance that Austin Reaves had, but nonetheless, right? Like, if you're the Lakers, you got to look to move him, right? Like, he just, again, maybe if he's willing to take a 6-man role, if he's willing to take, 4 years, 60 million and be a 6th man, sure, keep him, have your scoring off the bench. But if he wants to be a starter, he wants to be a guy, or a team is willing to pay him a bunch of money, then trade him to that team. Let him go. But yeah. Andrew. Jason coming out the $5 super chat. When does your As It Stands Celtics channel start? Please sub to this channel and hit that like button. This man works hard and amazing content. First off, Jason, thank you so much. Yes, listen to Jason. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button for me. I'd greatly appreciate that. And the Celtics channel, not anytime soon. Look, I've said the goal is to eventually have As It Stands every channel. So at some point, there'll probably be a Celtics channel, but it won't be me. That'll be one of the channels that when I make enough money to expand and hire people to be the face of individual channels, then I'll do that. then I'll launch the As It Stands Celtics channel. But until that happens, I need a lot more subscribers and a lot more super chats before that happens. But appreciate you, Jason. Seriously, thank you, buddy. Stakes coming out $2 super chat. Rui should be third scorer over AR, more size. I mean, he was one of the guys that stepped up. The problem with Rui is his IQ, right, and his lack of aggression at times. Right, he's a guy that I talked about going into the playoffs that might have been our biggest X factor, just because he's probably going to have the mismatch more often than not, and you saw that a lot. You saw him have a ton of mismatches, but so often he fails to exploit those mismatches, and it's kind of frustrating. And then again, his IQ, his positioning at times, it's frustrating. But again, to Rui's credit, he showed up and Austin Reaves didn't. So, maybe Rui should have been the third guy. But appreciate you. All right, let's get into the regular chat here. Let's see. JJ Redick just made an act of terrorism. I disagree. I think JJ's fine. Ant goes 0 of 11. We still lose. Story of our lives, right? Well. Yep. Story of our lives. Me, I feel it, Joey. So Kleba gets run. Oh my. I mean, trying everything. Trade everyone for Bam. Yeah. I would love it. You get Bam out of bio or somebody. I disagree. Again, what is JJ supposed to do? It's easy to go JJ's an idiot. It's easy to go JJ's a bad coach. It's easy to say JJ's this, that, and the other. What is he supposed to do? Right? Who is he supposed to rely on? Who can he count on? Right? At the end of the day, the players are the ones that play the games. At the end of the day, the players are the ones that show up or don't show up. And in the case of the Lakers, they didn't show up. Again, JJ Redick can only do so much as a head coach. Let's see. Wolves too strong, too fast. Yes. Too strong, too fast, too athletic. Long off season. Yeah, it is a long off season, but like I said, I'd rather get to it now than get our hopes up and we're in the conference finals and lose in the conference finals or something like that. Right. When we all know like we need to have a busy off season. So yeah, it's over. On to the next season. Yeah, you're not wrong, Terrence. Not wrong. Embarrassing, yes. Let's see. I need Austin Reed fanboys to raise their hands, EFX. I've waited for 4 months to start the season and waited 82 games to start the playoffs just to see our team exit in the first round again. Breaks my heart. Hopefully we can get a center and 3 and Ds. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's always unfortunate, right? And look, at the end of the day, it's championship or bust, right? Obviously, we as Laker fans, it's better to lose in the third, fourth round, right? Fourth round would be the NBA Finals, but like, it's always better to lose in later rounds than it is the first round. This isn't how I anticipated going out, but at the end of the day, I'd rather get it over with, right? Peel the Band-Aid off and let's get into the offseason and let's start working on the things that we need to work on. Luka's got to put in a ton of work. Lakers as a whole got to put in a ton of work. And let's put ourselves in a position to where we can get back to being a contender, being one of the top teams in the league. This is LeBron and Luka's fault. Reaves is an all NBA player and carried this team. Yeah, clearly. AR sold this game. Lakers didn't even try. Wanted to stay in LA. It was no effort or nothing. Yeah, clearly. I swear I want Reaves out of town. This whole team is a joke. I'm not trying to be emotional, but trade Luka and Austin Reaves. You're not trading Luka. Austin Reaves, I think, can go. Austin Reaves for Trey Murphy. I wouldn't mind. Herb Jones. I'd actually prefer Herb Jones personally. Got destroyed. Yes. Reaves can go. Agreed. JJ can't coach, man. I disagree. Appreciate the super chats though. Reaves has to go. Agreed. JJ not ready for the bright lights. I don't think it was JJ. I think it's the players. Again, players have to show up. I hate the Luka trade, man. Rob didn't get us a center, and now we're in Cancun. Yeah, but again, you have to do the Luka trade. You don't not do the Luka trade for one, and then two, right? By the time you finish the Luka trade and everything, you have one shot at a center, and it fell through. Right? I know in hindsight, it's like, man, we should have went through with the Mark Williams trade, but we also don't know how that would have went. Right? We don't know, like, would he have stayed healthy? Yeah, he stayed healthy in Charlotte, but Charlotte has nothing to play for, right? It's very different when you're on a Lakers team and it's much more tasking. And, now you're going up against a physical Minnesota team, right? Like, would he have held up again? And then in the end, we all would have been like, oh man, Rob Pelinka, why did you trade for Mark Williams? You should have waited. And it's one of those, it's always damned if you do, damned if you don't. This team is so pathetic. As stands, can't play defense, too many offensive rebounds for the Wolves, too many turnovers. We need a center and some trades in the offseason. Yeah, we need a lot of things. I said it. Even if the Lakers did win the championship, this team looks very different next season. I think this roster and this team gets an entirely new facelift. Like, I think you're going to get a very different Lakers team next season. Well, it's pretty okay as long as Boston or Denver doesn't win championship. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Unserious team. Luke couldn't breathe. We didn't get swept. Let's see. JJ showed his true colors. Yeah, that he needs a help. He needs a roster. So who are we trading for? Hopefully a center. Hopefully, don't worry, we're gonna get in a lot of stuff. We're gonna break all that stuff down. We're gonna have lots of talks. Look, I'm Mr. Trade guy, right? So we'll explore all kinds of possibilities and potentials, right? Like, look, trades and breakdowns are my forte, right? So believe me, there's going to be a lot of those. Wolves wasn't hitting shots. Ant played it as game, and we lost because Gobert, yeah. Rudy Gobert had a Shaquille O'Neal level game. I love this team, man. They let us down. Yeah, without a doubt. Look, it's always Lakers till we die, right? But yeah, this was complete and total letdown, without a doubt, right? Like, this was disappointing. You expected more, you wanted more, and unfortunately, the Lakers didn't deliver. And it's frustrating. It is so frustrating. But trade everyone not named Luka and LeBron. Agreed. Let's see. We need Mark Williams or Walker Kessler. I wouldn't mind re-exploring the Mark Williams trade at all. Mark Williams already is like throwing shade. Already throwing shade at the Lakers, which I don't really blame him, to be honest. Let's see. Should have put Hayes in for a little bit to try out. I mean, he tried out for 4 games. It was awful. Reaves and Gabe Vincent for Kyrie Irving. The problem is Kyrie Irving, we have no idea when he's playing. I mean, he might miss all, if not most, of next season. Right? He had, what was it, an ACL tear? Your Warriors are about to suffer the same fate as the Lakers. Told y'all Wolves in 6 before the series. I guess I gave y'all too much credit. Apparently, Lakers get to watch the Celtics get another chance. I sure hope not. I'm okay with this loss. The Celtics will win. As his best game ever was tonight. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So frustrated with JJ Redick. Again, what was he supposed to do? Honestly, like, I see so many people talking about how they're frustrated with JJ Redick, but again, like, what was he supposed to do? Like, there's only so much he could do. Reason I think I get him off our team. He's a neck player at best. I'm assuming you meant role or bench player. We didn't deserve a championship. Yeah, agreed. Look, again, you're either good enough or you're not. The Lakers weren't good enough. It's that simple, right? Rob Pelinka should be fired just by rescinding the Mark Williams trade. He looks dumb AF right now. Again, hindsight is always 2020, but like, again, we don't know what happens, right? Say he goes again, say he does do the trade, right? There's 2 paths. Let's say he does the trade. There are 2 paths. Either Lakers are right and he falls apart and all of us are like, oh, look, Rob Pelinka overpaid for a guy that can't stay healthy, or he doesn't and Maybe he's the difference in the Minnesota series, but we don't know. That's the problem, right? Like, um, how do you not put Hayes and let Gobert go off? I mean, again, JJ Redick played Jackson Hayes 4 games against Rudy Gobert, and Jackson Hayes was unplayably bad. So, I mean, again, like, what are you supposed to do? I'm tired of this inconsistent team. I disagree. JJ's fine. We lost. I'm crying. I feel it. Y'all said Reaves is better than Lavinia. That's what I was told. People told me I was an idiot for wanting Zach LaVine. Got another super chat. David, coming out $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Great show. Thank you. Seriously. This team was not for this year. Agreed. But care pundits and trolls, team flaws could not be overcome with schemes and analytics. JJ is a good coach. Agreed. Glad for the Luka trade because it extends LeBron James' career. Luka revenge next season. Agreed. Beautifully put, David. Again, at the end of the day, it's up to the players. Coaches can only micromanage and do so much. You can't account for 90% of the things that happen, right? Like, what are you supposed to do? He threw out Max Kleba out there, didn't do anything. He threw out, like, again, Jackson Hayes. I see people saying, like, oh, we should have played Jackson Hayes. We did 4 games. And you know what he did? Nothing but foul and get bodied. Again, like, you're only as good as your team. You're only as good as the talent you have on your team. Eric Spoelstra is looked at as one of, if not the best coaches in the entire NBA. And he lost by an average of like 50 points in the playoffs. Again, you're only as good as the team that you have. Right? People always want to blame the coach. But at the end of the day, it's up to the players. Right? I mean, I'm old enough to remember Phil Jackson and teams want, fans wanting to run Phil Jackson out of LA, for losing to Detroit and stuff. Right? Like, again, you're only as good as the team that you have. But, look, the Luka trade was for the future, right? Because post LeBron, what were we going to do? Right? Anthony Davis at that point is probably 35, 36 years old. What do we do? So the Luka trade was about the future. Obviously, it was to hopefully give us a chance now, but it was more so about like, hey, here's the next, 10 years for this team. So I'm right there with you. And David, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Seriously. Very kind of you. Michael, coming out $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. 80 hurt JJ, reformed our defense identity. We went on a winning streak. Luka trade win streak continued despite the flaws in the roster. We played playoff basketball since January, if you think about it. Yeah. The thing is, too, though, is again, regular season and playoffs. Very different things, right? Like, we ran into a very, if not, in all honesty, they're probably the most physical team in the entire NBA. Like, legitimately. And that's a terrible matchup for a Laker team that doesn't have the size to match up against such a physical team. Like, Minnesota is one of the best, like, matchups are very important. Again, it's why I didn't want to play Minnesota. That's why I was very adamant about, like, I don't really like this series. I think the Lakers win this series, but I can easily see Minnesota winning it, right? I did breakdowns and I talked about it on live streams and all that stuff. And, I took the Lakers to win, but I thought it would be a hard fought series. I thought that they would be incredibly banged up. And I thought if they did get out of the series, that they would get out of the series very banged up. And I think that they would have, right? I mean, so, like, Lakers have just, they've had to work twice as hard, right, since the Anthony Davis trade, because you don't have that interior size, you don't have that interior defense, you don't have those things. And then now you fast forward and it's it's the lack of interior size and the lack of center hurts us, right? So now it's back to the drawing board this offseason. And I think you got to get several pieces, right? I think you got to get I think you got to get 2 centers, right? On top of getting 2 centers, I think you need some athleticism. I think you need some, legit 2-way guys, 3-and-D wings. Lakers need a lot, right? You're going to have to essentially revamp this roster, right? You're going to need probably, 5 new guys at least. But we'll see. Time will tell. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's get back into the regular chat. See, JJ not playing a center the whole series. I'm barely the bench like an idiot. I had Gobert looking like Wilt out there. Again, he did play. He tried to play Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes was unplayable. Alex Lynn, we saw all season be unplayable. And then he tried to play Maxi Kleba, and it did nothing. Like, what is he's supposed to just leave Jackson Hayes out there to just get bodied and bullied and dominated and foul out in a quarter and a half? Like, what is he supposed to do? Uh, if Reaves is still on this team come the end of July, I'm switched to you, Tyler. Again, it depends. It depends on what's available, right? Like, as frustrated as I am on Austin Reaves, as much as I too am like trade the guy, it has to be the right trade, right? Cooler heads have to prevail. We can't just trade him just for a bag of chips and just to trade him. It has to make sense. So hopefully they can find a trade that makes sense. Y'all got beat by Rudy Gobert. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Lakers suck. Get rid of Reaves. Reaves is a joke. Lakers wanted to go home yet. Minnesota might go all the way. I mean, they're good. They're a really good basketball team. We get now rebound, and then he decides to put in Gabe Hit. Again, who is he supposed to go with? We saw what Jackson Hayes did. Nothing. Jackson Hayes had what, 3 rebounds in the 4 games that he played? I don't think he saved it. Clippers or OKC, come on. I mean, Clippers game away from getting eliminated. Connect Rui and a pick and a pick swap for Bam before his contract kicks in, and now that his value ain't that high. I don't think that'd be enough to get Bam. I think if Miami were to trade Bam, I think they'd get a better return than that personally. Well, if you can get Bam, then yeah, get Bam. We didn't improve when we went from Ham to JJ. We didn't improve when we went from AD to Luka. I disagree. JJ Redick was much better than Darvin Ham. Much better. But again, you're only as good as your roster. Darvin Ham would have been probably missed the play-in with this roster. I watched Luka get hunted down play after play, and we blame him, Bron. JJ trust issues. I don't have any trust issues with JJ. You talking about him having trust issues with the bench? Yes, he had trust issues with the bench, which again, I don't really blame him. Bench didn't show up. Bench were a bunch of no-shows. Kind of hard to trust a bench that doesn't show up to play. Zion coming out $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. Sucks not to win. However, we should be proud of this season. Players I'd love to see in the purple and gold next season: Miles Turner, Gary Trent Jr., Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, or Nick Claxton. Agreed. I really want I really want Bruce Brown. I really want Gary Trent. I know he essentially blew that game for Minnesota or for the Bucks, but he also is the only reason that they were in the spot to win the game. And I think that they'd be good value. All 3 of those guys, I think you can get for reasonable value. Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, I would love if you could pull that trade off for those 2 guys combined. I don't know if you can. Here's my only problem with Miles Turner. Miles Turner is probably the best center available. 1, what does this cost? 2, he's not really like a Luka type of center, right? I personally, it's just me, I personally would go get Miles Turner if you can get him. Like, if you can get Miles Turner, you get Miles Turner. However, there's arguments to be made that you might want to look elsewhere for a center. In a perfect world, you get like a Jalen Duren. I wouldn't hate looking at a Mark Williams again if you can get him cheaper, right? Like if you can do Dalton Connect and, say a pick swap or something, something along those lines. But yeah, it sucks not to win. No, I'm always proud of this season. I think that there was a lot of good this season, a lot of bad this season. But look, we're set up for the future, right? Because a lot of questions about like, hey, what do we do post LeBron James? When LeBron James retires, then what? Right? At least now we're set up for the next 10 years. LeBron James is expected to take a discount this offseason. We should be able to get some guys, and let's get back to business next year, right? Like we've seen what we got as far as a coach go. We see what, if we put the right team, the right pieces around, might be able to make some noise. So I'm right there with you, Zion. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. We seriously have to trade everybody. You're not wrong. Reaves is trash. Yes. Look, when I criticized Austin Reaves, everyone told me I was a hater. Luka, train your conditioning, get some defensive habits. Reaves, get together, hit the gym. Braun, at this point, just rest, take a pay cut, please. LeBron James is expected to take a pay cut. Look, he was willing to take a pay cut this past offseason, but the Lakers didn't get anybody. Tyler, I blame you for the series, honestly, because JK. I don't blame you. There's probably a lot of people. Every time, it's funny, every time the Lakers lose like a playoff game, every year it happens. It's all, let's see how many I've already lost. I've already lost 5 subs. Every year when the Lakers lose, I lose like 50 subs. It hasn't happened yet. We'll see. Surprisingly, I didn't lose any. I lost a couple subs when the Lakers lost the other games, but I'm prepared for a drastic drop off. Every time, the last 3 playoffs that I've been doing this, every time the Lakers lose, I lose like 10 subs. Like every time. Like what did I do? Like I'm not playing. I don't have any say in the Lakers. Like, it's just like, why am I being punished? Because the Lakers suck. Like, it's not my fault. So if you want to blame me, I get it. There's a lot of people that apparently blame it. Austin Reaves is done as a Laker. I think they should 24 rebounds. This is why we lost that game. Yeah. Let's see. Show hands how many people are still against trading Austin Reaves. Yeah. Probably not as many. I didn't know Reggie Miller was actually a Wolves fan. So sick and tired of listening to his comments during the whole game. He really wants the Wolves to win. He's just a Laker hater, right? Because Lakers prevented him from winning a championship. So it's not even the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's just anytime he's commentating on a Laker game, he's always hyping up the other team. Turns into D'Lo was in the past. He did his best D'Lo impression. The more the series went, the more I realized JJ lost us the series a month ago with no DK in the rotation. He lied. Bro said he trusts Jax and said DK could win us a game. Didn't even play him. Again, like, this is probably the worst matchup for Dalton Connect. Worst matchup. You're talking about the most physical team that has some of the best perimeter defenders in the entire NBA that would have, you don't think that they would have accounted for Dalton Connect had he been out there on the basketball court? And don't you think that, like, I don't know, maybe Anthony Edwards would have been like, hey, this is barbecue chicken. Give me the ball and let me just dominate this. They would have attacked Dalton Connect every possession and they would have clamped him up. Right? Like, I don't think he's doing anything. Like, I don't think, genuinely, like, I don't think Dalton Connect changes anything. Maybe he has a game where he knocks down 5 threes, maybe, but he was also inconsistent all season. And as for the Jackson Hayes part, he tried to play Jackson. He played Jackson Hayes all 4 games, or 4 out of the 5 games, and the guy was literally unplayable. Literally unplayable. Like, what is he supposed to just keep playing a guy that's getting 3 fouls in 4 minutes, that had 3 rebounds in 4 games? You were right about Reaves, man. Hated to see him turn into D'Lo this series. Well, more often than not, what's the Thanos thing? All roads lead to me, type thing. Let's see. Mark Williams he's already like trolling the Lakers and stuff, which, like I said, I don't blame him. Y'all got to get rid of Austin and Rui. It ain't working again. Yep. Desperately need a real big man. Yes, absolutely. Let's be real. This wasn't our year. Get 2 good lob threats, and we good. Yep. Lakers now go give Luka a max contract. They will. I mean, he won't get a super max, but personally, I'd stay away from Sabonis. Daniel Gafford, I'd love to get Daniel Gafford. Lakers could find a way to get Daniel Gafford. Call up your buddy Nico. Let's see. Agreed, Austin played terrible, but JJ was horrible with the rotations. He didn't play Hayes, Goodwin, or Connect. Again, Hayes, he played 4 straight games, and the guy was the worst player on the basketball court every time he played. Jordan Goodwin, sure, he could have gotten a couple more minutes, but who are you playing him over? Playing him over, Dorian Finney-Smith. You're playing him over Jared Vanderbilt. Right? Like Dalton Connect, again, just talked about how, again, he's literally our worst defensive player by every metric. You're playing the most physical team that would have locked him up and made things very difficult for him while also attacking him every possession on the defense or offense side of things. Told y'all, Lakers suck, Minnesota Lily. Try to give you all this game. Anthony Edwards played like hot garbage and they missed 43 pointers as a team. No, not Sabonis. Agreed. Like it's a guarantee they were done for once they kept Reaves. Austin is bad all playoffs. He doesn't show up. Trade him. Yes. Feel like Rui should stay more than Austin. I mean, look, Rui. I think you trade Rui for $17 million. I don't think he's worth it. To his credit, he showed up, but I think you got to trade him. Need Claxton. I wouldn't mind Claxton. Defensive versatility, be that lob threat. Connect definitely should have gotten some run. Again, I mean, sure, but like, what is? He's not the difference in this. Like, we're not winning the series because Dalton Connect played. If he even started, if he hit his first 2 threes, that'd probably be the last buckets he scored. There is no universe. Max Kleba gets minutes over Hayes. We were talking about a guy who's been out for 4 months. There is when Jackson Hayes was literally our worst player on the basketball court every single night. It was good tonight, but he still is good as gone. Yeah. Again, I think you look to trade everybody. He's a $17 million expiring contract. So, Vando did good. I wouldn't mind keeping Vando. Again, I don't think anyone's untradeable on this roster, but if you want to keep Vando, keep Vando. Let's see. Trying to find something to me. How you feel about Kyrie, if possible, and who would be the 3 and 5? Look, obviously I'd love to get Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie might not even play next season, right? Because you got to remember he suffered what I believe was an ACL tear. So I just think you got to wait till he comes back. If he comes back before the trade deadline, maybe kind of monitor him, see how he's looking, and then maybe make a move. But right now, I don't think you can do it. Redick's fine. Let's see. LeBron is 40. Y'all okay? Yeah, we got Luka. You don't keep trying to build with an aging superstar. The Lakers have to allow Bron to move on, build around Luka, or flip Luka for Giannis. Problem is LeBron doesn't want to move on. And as long as LeBron wants to keep playing, LeBron's still going to be on the roster, right? If LeBron is willing to retire, then I think that they'll let him retire. Or if he wanted to be traded, I think the Lakers would trade him. Look at last year, right? Lakers asked LeBron, like, hey, do you want to go to the Warriors? We'll trade you to the Warriors. And he said, no, he wants to stay with the Lakers. You got to keep in mind, LeBron is a Laker because of his family, right? His wife wanted to live here. His kids wanted to live here. Now Bronny's on the team. Like, LeBron ain't going anywhere. If LeBron wants to retire, which I doubt, I think now with Luka, I think what'll happen is he'll probably take a discount. He'll probably make $25 million a year or something like that. Clear off like $30 million, or whatever. I got to look at the numbers. I don't know what the numbers actually are, but essentially, I think what'll happen is he'll end up taking enough of a discount for the Lakers to free up the full mid-level exception. Maybe depending on how things shape up, a little cap space, because the cap is supposed to go up like 14 million. So you're gonna have the cap increase. You're gonna have the vet minimum guys fall off. You're gonna have You're gonna have like 60 million in tradable expiring contracts, and then you know, if LeBron takes a discount, Lakers, I think it's something off the top of my head. I think the Lakers can free up something. I mean, depending on what LeBron would take. If LeBron took, say, like 25 million, you're talking you'd free up like almost 50 million, right? Now, not all of that would go to cap space, right? But I think the Lakers would be, I think they'd have something, right? And then on top of that, you add in, because like I said, you'd have the expiring contracts fall off. You'd have Shake Milton, you could just waive. He's on a non-guarantee. You have the salary cap going up. I think it's 14 million, right? So Lakers would be in decent shape. Reaves always no shows in the playoffs. We need athletic players out there. Agreed. Rui Connect and a first and a swap for Bam. Trade Reaves for Trey Murphy. Sign Capella and a big like Bobby Portis. Get a combo guard off the bench, Sexton or Schroeder. If you could, I don't think that that's enough to get Bam personally. Let's see. Sad ending for the Lakers. Someone has to take responsibility for this loss. Again, look, you win as a team, you lose as a team. All right. Why did Redick not play a center? Why change now? We've been in every game. Lakers were in this game without a center. Again, he played Jackson Hayes. He was awful. Played him 4 games, kept trying to stick with him. No show. Tried to get Maxi Kleber out there. Didn't work. Again, he only has so many centers. He only has so many guys. Alex Len was unplayable in the regular season. Why didn't JJ remove Reaves from the game? Who are you playing? Right? Like, it's not like somebody else was great. Like, somebody else was like, oh man, this guy was killing it. Like, who can we trade for a starting caliber center? Like, which players can the Lakers trade for? I mean, you have a ton of expiring contracts. But like, as far as centers that the Lakers can acquire, there potentially could be a lot. You got Nick Claxton, Mark Williams, I think is still going to be on the table. We'll see what kind of guys become available in the offseason. Miles Turner is available. Maybe you go revisit the Jalen Duren and Walker Kessler trades, right? Like, there's a couple handful of guys. Yeah, Austin Reaves needs to be a 6-man or traded. Agreed. Let's see. Jared Vanderbilt, again, I don't think he's untradeable, but Jared Vanderbilt's fine as an assignment guy. All right, like, Jared Vanderbilt's good in like spurts. Right? He's a guy that you bring in, you let him play, like 12 minutes a game and just be that defensive, hardworking hustle guy. Right? Like, that's what Jared Vanderbilt is. Jared Vanderbilt is not a guy that you're looking to play 30 minutes a night. He's a guy that you're playing, 12 to 15 minutes. He's going to go get you 7 rebounds, give you a couple assists, get a couple steals, right? Like, that's what you're looking for Jared Vanderbilt to be. Ugh, tired. LeBron can't make 50 million. Sorry. Yeah, he won't. I'm pretty confident he'll take a discount. Ideal offseason video on the way. There's going to be a lot of offseason videos on the way. We're officially in the offseason, so do a couple breakdown trades in the next few days, and then from there we'll jump into all the offseason stuff. So I don't know, a couple days we'll really jump into the offseason stuff. Let's see. Reaves, Vando, Gabe for Kyrie. Problem is, like I said, we don't even know if he's going to be able to play next year. Giannis would be amazing. I just don't think the Lakers have enough to do that. Come on, why isn't this working? Been saying it for years. We need a center. Imagine losing to the Wolves, who missed 43 pointers. Yeah, not wrong. Jackson is 7 foot, right? Yes, but he doesn't play like it. If I'm the Bucks GM, I come to Rob and offer Giannis and Brooke for Reaves, Gabe, Vandal, Rui, Dalton, and all of our picks. If it was up to you, would you do it? Well, Brooke Lopez is a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, look, I would trade basically anybody, for Giannis. I'd trade LeBron for Giannis, right? Like, but I don't think that. I think the only way that happens is if Giannis says, I only want to go to the Lakers. If Giannis basically pulls an Anthony Davis, then yes. But outside of that, if he's even open slightly to anybody, I think he goes to that other team. There's just too many teams that have much better packages for a guy like him than we do. Should have started Luka, Dorian Finney-Smith, Braun, Rui, Hayes. Problem is, like I said, Hayes was like unplayably bad all season long. I'm not giving Luka that contract. I disagree. Luka's fine. Alex Lynn could have saved us tonight. I highly doubt that. It's hard to find a dominant big man than finding a guard. Lakers should have picked up a center to pair with AD. Let's see. Love how Ant was being all hyped up and in a close game scores 15 points. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. We need a better team. It's that simple. Agreed, Jay. Right there with you. We traded away Anthony Davis to go home again in the first round. This was crazy, bro. I mean, again, you kind of expected it, right? Like, obviously, look, I thought the Lakers could beat anybody, but in the same breath, I also thought anybody could beat the Lakers, and I thought that this was a terrible matchup for the Lakers. You traded Anthony Davis for the future. You didn't. It wasn't just so much about this season. We need better players. Agreed. All right. Hang on 1 second. Why isn't that? There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, we back. All right, I'm gonna do a handful of more questions, and then I will get into. I'm gonna go and get some videos done. You happy now? When the playoffs about to begin, you keep telling about damn trades that never happened. You jinxed it. Enjoy the day for sure tomorrow. You stupid trade ideas. Huh? What are you talking about? I haven't talked about trade since the trade deadline. Like, what are you talking about? And believe me, I will have a lot of stupid trade ideas. So you can count on that door. And just like everybody that leaves comments like this, you'll watch and you'll be there and you'll comment because you always do. Let's be real. What do we expect? A chip? I mean, you should always expect a chip, but how it wasn't super realistic. That Mark Williams tweet hits. Yeah, I haven't gotten to read it yet, but I got the notification. So, blame Alex Lynn. Let me do a couple more here. Let me find a couple to me real quick. He's supposed to play Dalton Connect when AR starts to sucking. I mean, again, if you're relying on Austin Reaves, Dalton Connect to save the day, I don't think that that's a good way. Yep. How many coaches are we going to go through until we realize it's the bench? Yeah. Again, every year it's the coach. Every year it's first it was D'Lo. We got rid of D'Lo. Then it was it was Darvin Ham. We got rid of Darvin Ham. It was you know it's just it at some point you got to look at the roster. At some point you got to look at the player. We don't have enough role players. Yes, we don't have enough high end role players. Um, he needs to run to put up points. Again, I don't think he does anything. I think he gets. Again, you're talking about the most physical team. You don't think that they would have been in his behind. Like sure, maybe you could have thrown him out there, but I think more likely than not, he gives you nothing. Austin Reaves was very bad. Rui was inconsistent. Defensive end was atrocious. Pace and synergy awful. Execution was bad. It was basically LeBron and Luka. ISO versus Timberwolves. Yes, you're not wrong. What might have got hot and helped them a game? I mean, he might have. He also might have gotten just bullied and ran through. That's probably more likely. Dalton Connect plays better defense than AR. What are you like? That's readily available on the internet. You're more than welcome to look up just like players' defense ratings or players' defensive stats, and you would see very clearly that that's not true at all. So again, little education, little research before you leave a comment like that. Let's see. We lost this game directly due to Austin and no rebounding. JJ should have forced the team to go at Gobert. I mean, they kind of did. LeBron kept trying. Guys kept trying. Gobert was blocking everything up. Yeah, they'll build around him next season. Agreed. I think it's Russ's fault or D'Lo's fault. Yeah, every year it's somebody's fault. Again, at what point do you just go, it's the team's fault? We trade Max Christie instead of Dalton, by the way. Yeah. Honestly, I would have rather traded Austin Reaves because Dalton, I don't think that they would have been like, oh, yeah, we need Dalton Connect over. Like, again, they were trying to win now, right? But you could have maybe given up Austin Reaves and kept Max Christie. Max Christie was exactly what this team needs. Walker Kessler seems like the right move now. I would love it. I just don't know if Utah will trade him is the problem. We didn't capitalize on Minnesota scoring droughts. This third game, the series that's happened, we could have won so many times this series. Lakers had every opportunity to win this series, snatch this series, and they just didn't. Don't want to see Austin Reaves next season. Hope Lakers see enough. Get him off the offseason. Yeah. I've talked about it a lot. It's a long way to next season. Man, so frustrating. They better make better. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential this offseason. A lot of guys that are probably going to be available. There's a lot. All right, Lakers will have an opportunity if they play their cards right. They will. We're inconsistent, but at least he had a good game to leave out on. Yeah, exactly. At least he, at least tried. At least he showed up. OKC is winning the West anyway, not the Warriors, Clippers, Wolves, Nuggets. I mean, OKC very well might. OKC's tough. Tyler, you think we can get Giannis? No. Look, if the Lakers pull it off, that's great. But honestly, no. I don't think that they get Giannis. Never say never. You traded for Luka, but you also traded Anthony Davis to get Luka. I don't think Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, and 2 pick swaps are getting you Giannis. Again, never say never. Again, Giannis says, I only want to go to the Lakers. How many years does he have left on his contract? That's the key. Because if he has like 2 or 3 years on his contract, then it will then he won't even be able to force his way. Let's see, contract. Let's see. There we go. Track. He has oh, did he just sign a new contract? He's not a free agent until 2028. Oh, so he's going into a new contract. Yeah. So there's even if he tried to force his way to Lakers, he could technically Lakers still might not be able to get him. Because again, he could just like a team will trade for him and be like, what, are you just not going to play? So, and Giannis isn't one of those guys. So I just 2 more after this year. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like if he was going into a contract year, I could see him maybe he pulls an Anthony Davis. But yeah, I think realistically that's not happening. But anyway, I'm gonna skate on out of here. Unfortunate into the season. I'm gonna try to get a schedule, like a live stream schedule, because obviously we won't have the post game streams anymore. So I definitely want to keep live streaming, keep having conversations, explore trades, do all that stuff. So kind of mapping it out in my head. Probably spend the next few days kind of breaking down the season, breaking down certain things, going over obviously this loss and a few other things, and then we'll start getting into some off-season talk, all the trade talk. Mr. Trade Guy, right? So there's going to be a lot of, as somebody earlier in the chat said, stupid trade talk. So get prepared for a lot of stupid trade talk and a lot of stupid free agency signings and a lot of just what ifs and conversations. And trust, there's going to be a lot of news too about it. So we'll start getting into all that stuff sooner rather than later, because there's a lot that I want to talk about and discuss and kind of go over. And we'll have the fun conversations, we'll have the news updates and all that stuff. So look forward to all that for those that do enjoy that stuff. And then, like I said, I will try to get a consistent live stream schedule. I don't know if I'll be able to live stream every day. I kind of want to try to live stream every day, but I don't know for sure if I'll be able to live stream every day, but I want to live stream a lot. Because I enjoy these conversations. I enjoy, having these talks and stuff like that. And there's just a lot to talk about. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. You guys are beautiful. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. If you're not subscribed, don't punish me for Lakers losing, because like I said, every year I get that snowball of losing subscribers because the Lakers lose. So I didn't do it. It's not my fault, but we will get into the off season and then hopefully a better next season. So everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. Seriously, I really appreciate it.